It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good morning, Monday, July the 1st. Oh, we're halfway to 2025, everybody. And it's Monday. And it was a great weekend. And here we are. Is this working? Is anybody feeling good about a Monday? I'm trying.
I'm buying in, dude. I'm buying in. I'm coming off a pretty cool weekend, so sure, why not?
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
It's a 4th of July week. It's Phone It In week, right?
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Wow. Yeah, you're damn straight it is. It is Phone It In week. Our job is to inform. Our job is to inform and entertain. So let's inform. We've got a few things we need to share to get your Monday off on the right foot, to get your week off on the right foot. We're going to call this the top 5 at 6. Let's do it. Here are the 5 things we think it's important to note at the top of the show.
All right.
Suni Lee heading back to the Summer Olympics from St. Paul, the 21-year-old gymnast. Boy, how awesome was that? I do the same thing every 4 years. I say, I don't care about the Olympics this time. I'm not going to watch.
Yep.
And then I turn on the trials, and then I get myself back into gymnastics as if I know anything about this sport. And then I find myself getting excited. There's a couple fist pumps, and then boom, Suni Lee from St. Paul back in the Olympics. God bless her. What an awesome performance.
Doing it in her hometown, too. All the gymnasts nuts running all over the Twin Cities this weekend. Listen to how adorable this gold medal winner is from Minnesota.
I thought it was absolutely insane. It was so fun. I was super, super nervous day one because I just felt like a lot of pressure. I mean, it's hard when you have to go up and everyone's just screaming your name. I mean, I love it, but I just get so freaked out in the beginning. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know people actually liked me that much. But
doesn't she remind me a little bit of me, doesn't she?
You know what? I was going to say you took the words right out of my mouth. There is such a Zepp quality. just a little sugar bear, man. You just want to pick her up and take care of her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, she could kick all of our asses. Don't think twice about that.
No doubt about that. I hope she kicks ass in Paris.
I look very forward to watching that. Number 4 on the top 5 at 6. The Twins beat the Mariners 5-3 in Seattle yesterday. The Minnesota Twins are now 47-37, 6-4 in their last 10. And boy, that Trevor Larnach can hit the ball real far and real hard and hit it a lot. Nice. It's a good, we're halfway through the year. We're almost halfway through the baseball season. It'll be later this month. And the Twins are in good shape. I mean, they're in a playoff position. Let's hope they continue that as we move forward.
Yeah, I mean, 6 games back. It is what it is. But the White Sox, 30 games out?
That's great.
That's almost as fun.
It's every bit as fun. A few new laws will go into effect today in Minnesota, including a 50-cent retail delivery fee on orders over $100. If you get anything delivered, with the exception of food, including restaurant deliveries, medical, and baby supplies, you're going to have a 50-cent retail delivery fee. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but that's going to hopefully raise about $60 million a year to fix roads and other transportation infrastructure.
Oh, thank God.
Well, yeah.
Get that taken care of finally.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? It's only my second year in Minnesota, but I've already learned there's 2 seasons, winter and road work.
Oh, hell yeah. We're deep into road work now, man. I mean,
it's impressive.
Feel like you're cut off. I mean, I feel like they're surrounding. I'm not going to be able to get out of the metro here pretty soon. There's a few exits out.
I think that's the plan. I think that is the goal. Let's keep everybody in the backyard. Martin Mull died over the weekend. He was 80 years old, and for as long as I can remember, he made me laugh. Godspeed, Martin Mull.
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way, featuring this very KQRS. He was the DJ. I know this because I've read about it. I've still never seen this movie. I need to rectify that.
Yeah, you do need to get that one in there. You guys remember him from the old movie FM? It's almost hard to find now. Yeah, that was our senior movie my junior year, and that ended senior movies because the teachers clearly did not screen that one before they let the kiddos watch it. But
Martin Mull tonight.
Fernwood
incredible.
Tonight. What a great career. We'll have to jump back toward Martin Mull's memory later on this morning. We have some audio.
Finally, our final top 5 at 6. You already mentioned this, Zepp. It's 4th of July week. It's 4th of July. Let's quit kidding ourselves. Half of American workers say we should get the full week off around the 4th of July. What about a national week off midsummer? I actually think it makes perfect sense. Everybody takes a break at the end of the year. Why not a midsummer 4th of July? Everybody piss off. I think it's a great idea.
Maybe I'm just overly patriotic, but I think it's a damn fine idea.
You and me both. Oh, you know what? God bless America, and God bless anyone who works to give us all a week off at this time every summer. I look very forward to that. All right, there's your top 5 at 6. How about we give away some tickets to a boat excursion? Let's play sales pitch. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talkin' text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for Monday, July the 1st. Let's head out west for the Mike Evans Hollywood Report.
Hey, good morning, KQRS. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Zepp. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, everybody. Short week. I love that. We start off with a love nugget. I'm hearing the official Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lawrence divorce news could be coming out around the 4th of July when it'll be a dead news cycle. No surprise there at all. Weekend box office shockers. Inside Out 2 was the number 1 movie again, with $57 million brought in at the box office. And by the way, for the record, Inside Out 2 headed for $1 billion. You wait and see. Coming in number 2 was A Quiet Place, day 1. It did $53 million. In third place, Will Smith's Bad Boys Ride or Die did $11,500,000. And coming in fourth place, Kevin Costner's Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. A very sad $10,800,000. Wow. A lot of people shocked by that low number. Boy, it's been a long time since I've been so excited about a movie, but coming to a theater near you on the 4th of July, Sound of Hope. It's the true story. It's a true story about the small town of Possum Trot, Texas, who took it upon themselves, at least locally, to fix the foster care crisis and adopt 77 underprivileged, abused children and give them a chance in life. Please write it down and see this movie, Sound of Hope. It was made for just $8.5 million, all donated by local folks. This movie will move you to tears and cheers. Sound of Hope. And for the first time, 5 stars. Odds and ends. So over the weekend, Eddie Murphy talked about his friendship with Robin Williams and John Belushi and their continued pushing that he try cocaine, and how Eddie Murphy said he refused. That's the smartest thing Eddie Murphy ever did. By the way, Eddie Murphy just finished shooting the movie. It's called Pickup. It's with Eddie Murphy, Pete Davidson, Eva Longoria, but it was on a closed set. Nobody knows what it's about or when it will be released. When I find out more, I'll let you know. Michael Jackson apparently was $650 million in debt when he died. And his estate could owe the IRS as much as $300 million plus interest plus penalties. Wow. And certainly the saddest news of the weekend, Willie Nelson still in seclusion and very, very ill. Hey, have a great day, everybody. We'll do it again tomorrow. Mike Evans, see ya.
There's your Mike Evans Hollywood Report for July 1st. I think he meant Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck.
Hearing the official Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lawrence divorce.
Yeah.
No, that makes it's official. He said it twice. I want to divorce Jennifer Lawrence.
Man, I think the 2 best days of your life would be the day you marry her and the day you divorce her.
That's what I'm saying, man.
It's kind of like the ski boot thing they used to say. Best part of the day is putting them on, or the second best part of the day is putting them on. The best part's taking them off.
They say that about buying a boat also in Minnesota. The best day is the day you buy it, the day you sell it. And buy a new one. Upgrade.
Jennifer Lawrence, an Oscar-winning actress, one of the great actors of her generation, and we're comparing her to ski boots. Hey, it's the KQ Morning Show. Let's look back. On this day in 1990, Yankees pitcher Andy Hawkins had a no-hitter, but he lost the game because in the bottom of the 8th inning at Comiskey Park, the Yankees and the White Sox tied at 0. He had thrown 7 2 innings of hitless baseball. 2 walks and 3 errors later, 4 White Sox scored. In the top of the 9th, the Yankees failed to produce a run, thus handing him a loss despite throwing a no-hitter. Sometimes, things just don't go your way, even when it looks like they're going to go your way.
Ain't that the truth?
And, by the way, because the Yankees lost and they didn't finish the game, he didn't pitch in the bottom of the 9th, they didn't count the no-hitter in the record books either. Andy Hawkins, who did you piss off?
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Monday, July 1st. It's the 4th of July week. We're not going to get a lot of work done. Well, we are. We got a few days of work ahead, but for the most part, as a nation, we're just kicking back. We're just chilling. We're celebrating 200 and almost 50 years. I don't have time to do the math right now. But, we're having a good time this week. We're already having a good time today. It's the summer. What could possibly go wrong other than the occasional bee sting? I mean, it's something you got to think about in the summer months. I made it till about the age of 7 before I was stung by a bee. I was on a quest to live a full life without being stung by a bee. My grandmother on my mom's side, Grandma Orth, lived to be a very, very, very old woman and never got stung by a bee, and I thought that was a great life goal. I really did. I was like, that's it. By God, I'm going to live just like Grandma Orth. I'm never, ever going to be stung by a bee. And when I was 7, I grabbed a towel, my pool, my beach towel, my cool towel off of the, it was hanging over the balcony side, and I grabbed it to run to the pool, and there were 2 bees underneath it, and they came out and they were angry, and they both landed right on my stomach, like right on the belly, right near the belly button, and boom, 2 stings. My mom's response, "Oh, you gonna be okay?"
Yeah.
She's like, "You're gonna see a lot of things in life, honey. It's just a bee sting."
Yeah.
And she was right. And it's happened a few times since. And of course, the fear of the bee sting is always much worse than the actual bee sting.
Yeah.
Unless, of course. Go ahead, sorry.
No. I was just going to say, we had so many freaking bees on the farm. Mom wouldn't even get out the calamine lotion. That was for something else. She would just say, go rub some mud on it.
Oh, my God.
So we'd get the hose out. We'd squirt the hose into the dirt and take a little mud and slap a little mud on that bee sting. But we had bees growing up. Not only honey bees near the house, good call, but also we had leafcutter bees to pollinate our alfalfa one year and all that. We had to sit out there in these bee shelters. So bee stings became a little commonplace, but never fun, never a cool thing.
Never a good thing. My brother he was with some friends, and they stepped on, there was a nest of some sort of bee on the ground that they stepped on. My brother stepped on it with a barefoot, not wearing a shoe or a sandal or anything, and the bees came flying out from underneath his feet. He stood perfectly still, and his friends took off running, and all the bees chased his 2 friends, and they both got hammered.
How sly is that?
I think it was just I think it was just pure fear. I think he was frozen. Yeah, literal paralysis.
I never thought about that. No one's ever mentioned that. Just go possum-like.
Yeah.
To avoid, like when a grizzly attacks. Because everybody does the same thing. They run for what? Water, shelter, whatever, and you're off. Yeah, the bees that we found on the farm, if they were in a hive or up in one of those nests, they were, you could operate around them. But those bees in the ground, those some bitches.
Don't look the bee in the eye.
No.
Oh God, no. No. It's very important to keep your eyes closed anytime you're near bees for 2 reasons. 1, because you don't want to piss them off, and 2, well, as a 55-year-old man in Philadelphia just learned, it might sting you in your eyeball. Yes, a 55-year-old gentleman went to the ER in Philadelphia. And by the way, I don't mean like the eyelid. I mean, this is the statistical equivalent to being struck by lightning or having a tree fall on you. I mean, what are the chances? A bee went right into the eyeball. Goes to the emergency room. Doctors tried to extract the stinger from the man's eye. And then they said, I think we got it. You should be good. They sent him home. 2 days later, his vision was worsening. There was a lot of pain in the eye.
Yeah.
And in fact, the vision in that eye had deteriorated to where he was only able to count fingers. His eye was swollen, it was inflamed, and it was bloodshot. Oh, and on the second day after the sting, blood was visibly pooling at the bottom of his iris.
Nice.
Okay.
And it was then that he finally went to an actual eye doctor, not just the ER, went to an eye doctor. And they said, they put him in the machine, they dilated the pupil, they found a tiny, teeny little spear-like fragment still stuck in place. Let me tell you something right now. If a bee stings me in the eye, I'm not going to an eye doctor, I'm going to all of the eye doctors. I'm going to line them up, everyone in town, I'm going to go see every single one of them.
Yeah.
I will not rest until every licensed ophthalmologist in the Twin Cities has cleared me.
There's your band name, Bloody Iris.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That is nice. That's a good one.
That is a good one. Yeah, it actually is.
I'm blinking uncontrollably right now.
It's really, really, really rough. The eye doctors did pull it out. They said they gave him a little, like a steroid drop for inflammation. This all happened a few months ago. So now, after a few months, he has apparently recovered. His vision in that eye is at 2025. 2020 is the goal. 2025, not that far off of there. So it could certainly be a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
The same summer that I finally got stung by a bee, I was almost stung by a bee. I was at the pool. I'm sipping my can of Sprite like a superstar 7-year-old does. Probably Alice Cooper School's Out blasting on the Lifeguards AM radio. And I'm standing there drinking a Sprite, and a bee lands on my lips. Like, just right there. And I look down, and my brother goes, "Don't move.
Give us a kiss."
And I stood perfectly still, and a bee just walked around my lips, just doing a lap. Front lip, top lip, bottom lip, top lip, bottom lip, in a circle, clockwise, as I was looking at him. And I was freaking out, and my brother said, "Just don't move, just don't move, just don't move." It never flew away. It was obsessed with it. I guess it liked the Sprite on me lips.
Sprite lips, man.
And so I said, "Just do something." And my brother goes, "All right, when I say go, just run and dive in the pool." And he took a towel and he just smashed me in the face with it and screamed. And I turned and I ran about 12 steps, dove in the pool, and stayed underwater for as long as my little lungs would allow me, because I was convinced that bee was waiting for me to surface.
That's
scariest moment of my life at that time. But it did not sting me, so I was saved.
Yeah.
It could have been worse. I mean, everybody's got at least one good bee sting story. Mine, my almost being stung on the lips is honestly the most traumatic bee story of my life.
Yeah, that's pretty horrifying.
Tony, come on. What do you got, Tony Lee? You got something.
Well, mine was in the eyes of the neighbors. We had Rachel and I went for a bike ride around the lakes, and she's allergic too, so it's a big drama. She got stung by a bee in the eye, so it's swelling up.
Wait, but not in the eyeball.
Well, no, right, like kind of in the corner, not in the eyeball, none of the
God, good.
Yeah, coincidentally. And so we're biking back, so her eyes all swelled up, and she's crying, of course.
Yeah.
It's painful and traumatic,
Baby.
and she's kind of a baby. And so we're driving down her street, but I'm right behind her, and she's crying, so it looks to the neighbors like we had a huge fight, and I'm following her, and she's crying. It looks like I'm, angry, abusive husband. And she's crying, and I wanted to go, "No, it's a bee sting, everybody. She's going to be okay."
Yeah, Rachel, yell something about a bee sting. That would be helpful now.
But
of all the things a man can say following his crying wife down the street to the neighbors to ease their concerns, it was a bee sting is the least likely to be believed.
And I'm wearing a wife beater.
Just
got a can of beer in my hand.
Yeah. You might as well say, we just got some bad news, folks. Nothing to see here. Just got some bad news. Yeah, nothing to see here. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and Text line. I believe we have a phone call.
Yes, we do. Brent? Is Brent? Yeah.
Brent, you with us? Not hearing Brent.
No,
I'm not hearing Brent. Hang on.
Ryder's doing her thing, man. She's pushing buttons and flipping me off. And
well, hey, hang on. Let's go to. Hang on. I think we got Brent.
Yeah, Brent's on line 1.
Hey, Brent.
Brent got stung in the eye.
Oh my God, he got stung in the larynx.
Brent should be on 1.
There he is. Brent, you with us?
Hey, I am now.
All right, brother. What have you got for us? Thanks for your patience.
Hey, no problem. So those wasps, those paper wasps, the big, long, ugly-looking things.
Oh, yeah.
I had a honeycomb on the railing of my deck behind my grill. There was like 4 of them on there, so I had a piece of driftwood, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to smash this thing. So I took a shot and got 3 of them, and the 4th one came screaming off and got me right in the eyelid of my right eye. Closed my eye. So then I quick, did the old Dr. Google thing to figure out what do I need to do, and apparently they go for the eyes is something that was brought up, which would have been a helpful piece of information prior to what I did. But I was literally sitting there. I looked like Rocky. I was my eyes closed up, and I'm like, yeah, cut me, Mick. It was
oh my God!
But that was I've taken some hits over the years from different flying insects, but that one was the worst. Right on the old eyeball.
That's like a wasp to go for the eye, too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So they are the pricks of the insect world.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a dirty trick that they go right.
That's incredible. I've never heard that they go for the eyes. Now, it changes everything now. I'm going to get some of those Kareem mid-'80s goggles and just wear them all summer long. That's horrifying. Brent, thanks for the call, brother. Sorry to hear you got your eye stung. Oh, my God. That's exactly right. 651-989-ROCK is the number. Kenny is on the horn. Kenny, what's up, brother?
Well, I got a bee story.
Lay it on us.
When I was about 8 years old, my brothers and sisters, younger than me, 3 of them anyways, were playing at the ants' chicken coop, playing around in there. And all of a sudden, we did something and unleashed about 100 bees, and they were stinging the hell out of us. And we got out of there, and my mom ran us home and to give us soda baths and stuff. And when I took off my underwear, there was a half a dozen bees in my underwear.
Oh, boy.
Oh my God. Everybody just jumped out of their seat and jumped around a little bit. Ow.
Ooh.
Is Brian Zepp there?
Kenny? Yes, he can. Hi, Kenny. How you doing, man? Kenny was on the boat with us dressed as Elvis and banged out a couple of tunes on the karaoke cruise for us. Kenny, did one of the bees get you in the most private of all parts?
Oh, yeah. I had about a half a dozen in my shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Hey, and I never
put some mud on that for you?
I never got to sing on the last ride. I signed up and never got to sing. That's 3 times in a row now I haven't been able to sing.
We couldn't have pry you away from the bar, you lush.
I don't think that's exactly correct, but I did have a couple years.
Well, all right.
I'll be there on the St. Croix, too, so I better sing that time.
All
right on. Thanks, Kenny. We appreciate the call, and I'm sorry retroactively for your pain and suffering. Although, I mean, maybe there is a short-term benefit to having your man root stung by bees. I mean, all of a sudden you could look like you're hung like a draft horse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's swollen in the right ways, I'm just looking for a silver lining, as I tend to do in life.
No kidding. That's so the wasp go for the eyes and the bees go for the sack. Got it.
Unreal. I told a story on the show probably a couple times about the yellow jacket wasps in our ceiling in Atlanta many, many years ago when there was 10 or 11,000 bees in the bathroom. If I had known at that time that they were going to go for the eyes, I think that would have just added an entirely new level of horror and trauma to the whole situation. It just never would have occurred to me to, you know what, if I knew bees were going for the eyes, those noises I was hearing, I would have just ignored them. I would have never investigated it. I would have allowed them to just fall through the ceiling later when I was out of town. That's all there is to it. That was a huge mistake on my part to go looking around for what the source was.
We don't know what we don't know. That's why there's going to be a lot of moms out there now. We apologize to you kids They're sending you out with helmets, and now you're going to have to put goggles on.
I believe Joe is on the horn as well with a bee story. Joe, you with us? Joe?
Yep.
What do you got, brother?
Hey, so I was on my day off. I was working all day and sitting on, and then I took a sit down, a rest on the porch, and I was having a beer, and apparently a bear decided to go swimming inside there. I didn't notice it go in, but I took a swig of the beer, and I felt something weird, so I spit it out, but that bee, that wasp or whatever he was, stung me in my mouth.
Oh, inside the mouth. Did it get you on the tongue or the cheek or roof or what?
Oh, it was like on my lip, inside of my lower lip.
Oh, owie. I'd rather have a cigarette butt in the old beer,
None of this is good.
Not cool.
Oh, thanks for the call, brother. Sorry about that. Bee stings, man. Everybody's got at least one good one. And sometimes, we get accused of spousal abuse like Tony Lee. So, these things happen. It can always go sideways. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and Text line. We're getting text messages. They're coming in. Everybody wants to share the trauma. Let's hear from you. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Monday, July the 1st. In about a half hour, 7:50 game today. Damn straight. Beat the toaster, ladies and gentlemen. That is our 7:50 game today. You'll want to be a part of it, whether you're participating or just listening. We're already getting a little stressed out. Let's kick the month off in fine fashion with Beat the Toaster. We've been talking about bee stings, bee sting horror stories. A gentleman in Philadelphia took a bee sting to the eyeball, not the eyelid, not the eyebrow, the eyeball itself. Don't know if we're going to top that one, but man, they're all kind of horrifying, especially when you start stacking them on top of each other. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and Text line. Terry from St. Paul's been hanging out for a minute. Terry, what have you got for us?
Morning, fellas. I was out in Sturgis with my old lady, and we're ripping along, about going up 90. All of a sudden, I felt a bee sting in my armpit.
Oh!
Blew up my sleeve. Imagine 80 miles an hour. You got one hand on the throttle, and you're trying to slap your arm with the other. And your wife's on the back freaking out.
Oh.
Finally, you get pulled over, and you go, damn, that hurt. It wasn't pleasurable, I'm telling you that, man.
No, the armpit. That's a lot of nerve endings there.
You're trying to stop at 80 and pull over. You guys ride,
Yeah. No, not cool. I got stung in the neck once riding, and my tongue got numb, and I barely made it to the side of the road.
Oh, man.
Were you out riding your motorcycle, or were you riding something else?
Hey.
Gotta go, fellas.
Thank you, Terry. Wait, 80 miles an hour on a bike, wife on the back, and then the arm. Yeah, the armpit is an incredibly sensitive area.
Yeah. Right. And he's, I'm sure, flailing around, and the bike's wobbling a little bit, and the wife is back there. What are you up to, you nut? But he got her off the side of the road, got her down.
It's just, now I'm like, I have my arms like completely locked down as if there's a bee, trying to get to my armpit right now. That's going to be with me for a while. 651-989-ROCK, the KQ Talk and Text line. Doug from Blaine. Have we still got Doug?
Yes, you do.
Morning, Doug. What have you got for us?
Well, this is about 10 years ago. Racetrack up north, we had our morning meeting, which was outside, coffee and donuts. And just as I was eating a donut, a bee flew in with the donut, and I bit down, and it stung me in the tongue.
Oh,
and
you're going to feel
people
that.
saw this happen, and they spit everything out. Well, after a few choice words, when I could open my mouth, we finally got the stinger out. The thing was, the worst part of the day is I was the emergency radio dispatcher for the racetrack that day. Put ahead to touch like that when you that, so they found a replacement for me.
You had a good excuse.
Yeah.
I had a good. Well, they gave me that whatever to get the swelling down, which makes you real tired. So I went back and slept.
Yeah. Beer and Benadryl. That's the combo right there. How long was your tongue out of commission until it felt normal again?
Well, it was okay probably about 4 hours later, but I was too groggy to go back to work because of that Benadryl. They gave me a couple extra doses, so I slept most of the day.
Yeah, well, you get stung in the tongue, you get the day off. That's the rule.
But beer and snowshoe after that, it worked. I was fine then.
Right on. All right, Doug, well, you sound great now, brother. Thanks for the call. We appreciate the story. I mean, I hate the story, but I appreciate you sharing it with us.
Yeah.
Man, everybody's lining up to share the pain. I believe Tony's on line 3. Is that correct, or is it Mike on line 3? Sorry, who we got?
It should be Mike.
Mike, good morning, sir.
Morning.
What do you got for us, brother?
Oh, I was about 10 years old and was at the lumberyard hardware store with the old man, and I was putzing around because he was talking, and I was looking in the PVC pipe ends, and a wasp come out and landed on my cheek. And to this day, I remember going, I got him, and I took the bill of my hat, and I mashed him to kill him, and he stung me on the cheek. And the old man looks over and just goes, "You won't do that again, will you?" And by the time we got home, I was like Kenny. The whole left side of my face was flush with my nose. That's no exaggeration. And my mom freaks out. Then my dad's like, he mashed a wasp. He'll live. It hurt like heck.
Slap a little mud on that.
Man, that's a rough one. But, lesson learned.
Yes.
Appreciate
Let them
that.
be.
Yeah, no kidding. Appreciate that, Mike. Cheers, brother.
Yep. Thanks.
That is just absolutely all these just add into it's like what is it, compounding interest on my bee trauma. With every further story I'm like no
yeah, you can't. That's the thing, you can't swat it. You have to go to this place of calm. You have to bring your heart rate down and just get it to, you have to shoo it away. There's no smashing it because you're just smashing the stinger right in. They're going to get the last sting at you.
A lot of text messages. One from Michelle. As a kid, I was drinking soda and was stung on the tip of my tongue and lip.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I told you, I was drinking a Sprite once and I got a bee right on my mouth, circling my lips, but he never stung. I was able to avoid that.
Flirted with you.
Yeah, he flirted with me, and it still freaks me out. So I can only imagine how bad it would be if you actually, if it actually stung. Another text message: I was at work clearing some brush. I hit a ground nest with a hatchet. Bees chased me into my truck. I drove to the building. They were in my clothes. I had to take my clothes off in the office. I got stung 10 times. Went to urgent care. It was like a horror movie. Yeah, a lot of people said bees go in the clothes. When we had the bee situation at our house where a whole wasp nest was in our ceiling, when they broke through, when the guy came to kill all the bees, he sprayed something in our bathroom and all the bees landed, and then they all eventually died. Whatever that was, I don't know, but I'm sure it cost $9 billion a can, whatever that aerosol was. But they got everywhere. They truly did. Every folded towel, you'd shake out a towel and there'd be 20 wasps in it. Like a bathrobe was hanging on a hook. The pockets were filled with bees. Like they went everywhere. I do think they like clothes. They like our clothes. Let's just face it. They like the soft fabrics.
Yeah, well, I mean, who can blame them? Those nice cottons. Who doesn't want to get inside the clothes? What about that lady stung out on the golf course? You heard about her.
I'm not sure I'm following.
Well, she got stung out on the golf course. She goes into the pro shop and says, "Hey, I got stung out there." And the pro asked her, "Where'd you get stung?" "Well, between the first and second hole," she answered. He said, "Oh, your stance is too wide." No? It's an oldie. I mean, it's an
oldie, but a goodie.
Classic, for crying out loud. I had to go there.
All right, I'm getting a lot of texts here that people are correcting us. From Boris wrote, "It's too hard to pronounce wasps, so people say bees instead."
Yeah, we get the difference.
I don't. Dumb. What are we saying? Bees don't sting, wasps do?
No, they both do. I mean, there are many different types of bees. We had 4 or 5 different kinds of bees out on the farm. We're talking about those ones in the ground are not bumblebees. Then you have bumblebees. You have honeybees. We had leaf cutter bees that do a lot of pollinating. sting. Wasp, that's the badass on the block. Those are the gangbangers.
Day's nasty.
Yeah, they're just in a bad mood. Whatever happened to those African wasps? Hornets. Those are
African hornets. Oh, man. Don't even say the word. It's like, if you say it 3 times, they'll appear. So just, you only got 2 left.
Mum's the word.
Pace those things out. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. Mike, we have a call. Mike, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Haven't been stung by a bee in a long time. Something tells me that's not the case in your world.
Well, it's been a minute since this happened. About 10 years ago, a buddy and I were up in Duluth, near Duluth, dirt biking for the day, and we met a couple other cats up there on their dirt bikes. And we rode around all day, had a blast. We exchanged phone numbers so we could ride again in the future. And on the way out, we got on Highway 23, and we pulled out before them. And I felt like I knew them guys well enough that I could moon them as we were going down the highway. So my buddy's driving his big F-350, and I pull my pants down. I stick my butt out the window, and my buddy's going about 75, 80 at this point. And I think it's funny, and I jam my ass out the window, and I'll be damned if a hornet wasn't flying by at the same time, and it lodged itself in my butt cheek, and it created. I couldn't walk for. I'm not even lying, for like 3 or 4 days. I thought I was going to have to go to the emergency room. And the funniest part of that story is that it was all fun and games, obviously, until I got stung. And then I told my buddy, I says, I don't know, we got to go to the hospital or what? And he goes, well, what do you want me to do? And I says, I think you're going to have to pull over and suck the venom out. Which he did not do. So.
It's old joke day, man. Come on.
Yes, solid.
And that's my bee story, and I appreciate you having me on.
No, that's great. Thank you for calling in. That's fantastic.
From a fellow dirt biker. I was out on my motorcycle. I wasn't on a dirt bike. I was cruising that day, but that hornet hit me in the neck, and when I pulled over, my tongue was numb. I thought, man, I think I'm going to pass out. What was that got me in the neck? I honestly thought maybe a stray 22 had caught me. It was that painful. And I look at my little motorcycle mirror there, and the back, whatever they call it, the ass of the hornet, and the stinger are still in my neck. The front half, pulled off. But yeah, so I guess hit me ass first, and I guess that's what happened to him. He stuck his ass out, and the hornet's ass hit his ass, and that's those stingers. You pull those bad boys out, a bee stinger, that's like a little teeny sliver. You pull out a hornet or a wasp stinger, and that thing has a hook to it. It looks like a little velociraptor.
That's
claw.
a whole different type of dancing cheek to cheek, as they say.
Exactly.
651-989-ROCK. I believe we've got Brian on the horn. Brian, good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to try to make this really short and sweet. I've been stung my whole life, but 2 years ago I got stung and I kind of passed out. So I went to the doctor. He says, oh, we'll give you a couple of EpiPens. Yeah, okay, fine. So I tell all my golfing buddies, if I get stung, jab me with this thing. But anyhow, I on the course last year got stung, pulled out the EpiPen, hit the EpiPen. Well, I woke up about 4 hours later, and my wife's in the hospital. Well, a long story short, the doctor says, you're abnormal for a bee sting person, too. You don't swell up, you pass out. And they actually thought, the guys on the course thought I was dead. But anyhow, I'll let it go. But yeah, so I got 2 EpiPens now. I'm actually getting shots to stop this. And the doctor even says, you're so allergic right now, use both EpiPens.
Oh, man.
So
or start golfing in a bee suit.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine?
Right. Get one of those smokers and stick it in your bag.
Let me tell you something. Okay. Let me tell you something. If it would take strokes off my total, I'd wear a bee suit on the course. Any golfer worth the salt will do it. Oh, this helps? Bring it on. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I look ridiculous enough wearing regular clothes and trying to play golf. And why not add the bee suit and make it a whole show? On the KQ Talking text line, Barb is on the horn. Barb, good morning.
Good morning. So we lived up in Baxter, Minnesota, and they were doing construction on our road, and we thought they brought these paper wasps with us. We couldn't figure it out. No one would come to our house. We were swarmed, and all of a sudden one day we looked out our front door, and in our tree was the biggest paper wasp nest you'd ever seen. So we called the DNR and the police. They're like, that's not our department. So my husband and my neighbor decided they were going to take it down. My neighbor put on his dirt track racing suit. And I'm like, that is a bad idea. They're going to get stuck in there. But they proceeded to cut it down, and the thing was so big, it would not fit in a Fleet Farm bag, those giant toy bags. So they needed to cut it down, and miraculously, neither one of them got stung. But we sealed that thing up with 2 rolls of duct tape and 2 Fleet Farm bags, and it hissed in our backyard for 2 or 3 days.
Man.
Nobody got stung.
Oh, wow.
Strong duct tape.
Yeah,
work
right,
exactly.
There. Man, I love a good duct tape story.
Yeah, I'd be burning through the whole roll. Holy.
And
all
my
right.
daughter wanted to take it to school, but we're like, sorry, honey, it's bigger than you are.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right kidding. On. All right, Barb, thank you for the call. We appreciate it. On the KQ Talk and text line, Michelle wrote in, I was weed whipping under my pine trees. I started feeling a zap and burning on my inner thigh, and then zap, zap, zap. I dropped my shorts in the middle of the yard. Over 20 ground bees came out of my pants.
Ooh.
13 inner thigh and ass bee stings. Hurt
God.
like hell. Ow, Michelle.
Oh, they swarmed you. They love you, Michelle. Oh, we did a story some years ago, too. I just saw the audio, and the guy, Brian, talking about being on the golf course. A golf course worker stung by nearly 2,000 bees. When they showed him, he was completely, it was like a Hollywood movie. He's completely covered in bees. Yep. And other golfers couldn't approach him. These bees are furious and angry, and they had to wait until the paramedics showed up. He was out there for like a half hour. I have a little bit of audio.
We were moving down the fairway. We saw a worker working. He stopped, and he started swinging his arms. Didn't pay a lot of attention to it at first. As we went down closer, I started to pick up my ball. All of a sudden, the bees started attacking me, so I got my golf cart and started heading back.
By the time he turned around, he was completely covered with bees. He probably had a foot of bees on him.
A foot of bees on him.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he did survive, but went into intensive care, and don't quote me on that. But I know he was in intensive care. I guess we never followed up on this.
Let me tell you something. I don't ever want to have an inch of bees on me.
A foot?
A foot of bees on me. Yeah. Holy smokes. Here's a text that just came in from Wisconsin. As a mail carrier, I'm already sad for this. I have found wasps, in particular, love to build nests in mailboxes. I was stung about 3 years ago when I reached into a mailbox, stung me 3 times between my middle fingers. My hands swelled up from my fingertips halfway up my forearm. Yowza, yowza, yowza. Whew. It doesn't matter where anyone says they got stung. I immediately start, that part of my body that goes, starts to glow a little bit.
Yeah.
Whew, this is rough.
I got her between the toes one time, sticking, out at the farm. I had the shoes. Don't bring those old muddy shoes inside. So you'd kick them off outside, and then you'd run outside and just slide your barefoot into your old tennies, right? And got me right between the toes.
That's a rough one. I think we have Matt on the KQ Talk and text line. Matt, you with us?
Out at the farm, I had those shoes. Don't bring those.
Hey, that's me on Matt's radio.
Hey, Matt, turn that radio down, brother.
Okay, I turned it down.
Let's go. What do you got for us, my man?
Steve.
Okay, I was about 8 years old. I was at a friend's house, walking out in the yard, and there was a little bird hopping around, and there were bees around it. So I thought, I just got to save this little bird. So it was a little sparrow. I went to reach down, and here they were, ground hornets, the little yellow jackets.
Mm-hmm.
And I got nailed 3 times on the ankle. So I got to go home. And it was my mom and dad owned a bar and a restaurant. My mom was cooking, my dad was golfing. So I went in the kitchen, and I had little bumps on my legs. And she goes, go take a shower. So I went up to take a shower, come down in my pajamas. I'm combing my hair, and I had like 8 bumps the size of golf balls on my head.
Oh.
And I'm 8 years old. So the little lady helping my mom says, Norma, he's allergic. So Mom picks me up. She used the bartender's car, drove me to Amory Hospital, and it was only about 6 minutes. She was driving like 90 miles an hour. in a 74 Malibu.
Nice. Theater of the mind. Thank you.
My feet were so puffed up, she had to carry me in. And I remember looking up at the rearview mirror in the car. I was laying on the seat, and my eyes were swollen shut. And she had to carry me in because I couldn't walk.
Man.
And they jacked me full of epinephrine, I guess.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And I had to lay in a bed of ice packs for a day and a half. My whole body was one hive.
God.
Oh, so you have to carry an EpiPen with you now.
What's that?
You have to carry an EpiPen, one of those EpiPens with you?
Yeah, I've been told, but about 6 months after it happened, I started a desensitization program. I got a shot once a week for 6 months in my arm, my left arm.
Oh, yeah.
And that arm would puff up. And then after that first 6 months, after the first 6 months, once a week shot, for 4.5 more years, I got a shot once a month in the arm.
Oh, yeah, Brian, a guy on the golf course saying with his EpiPen, he says he's getting some shots to get, I guess that's what they do. They just keep flooding your system with it until, you're over it, the allergic reaction to the bee stings.
It's all fun and games until Matt calls. Thanks for the call, Matt. That's incredible. Yeah. That's a whole lot of activity right there, brother. We appreciate it.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Monday morning. It is July the 1st. And on August the 9th, the Stray Cats will be playing at the Ledge Amphitheater. I saw the Stray Cats once, and they were the middle band on a bill where I was really excited about the opener, and I was really excited about the headliner, and I did not care at all about the band in the middle. And then the Stray Cats came out and blew my mind and blew the roof off the joint. It's one of the best concerts I've ever seen to this day. The Stray Cats are spectacular, and they will be, as I said, at the Ledge on August 9th, and we got tickets on the table for a listener. And as it's Monday, and as these tickets are really, really, really worth something, we're going to torture a couple of listeners to try to get them to win, because we're going to play our least favorite and at the same time, oddly enough, our most favorite game. Tony, take it away.
It's toasty time. So here's what we do. We're going to pop a slice of bread into the toaster. It's right here in the studio. And we give you a category. And you name as many things that pop into your pretty little head as possible in the 15 seconds before the toast pops. 2 rounds each. First one's easier. Second one gets a little toastier.
Every time you describe it, it sounds so fun and light and airy. And then that fun music's playing, and it's like, oh, this would be great. And then it's just god-awful. Boy, this is terrible. Why do we do this? Why do we do this to ourselves, much less our listeners? But you know what? It's too late to turn back now. Let's get to it. We've got, I believe, Kerry on line 1. Kerry, good morning, sir.
Hey.
Well, hey yourself, fella.
He's trepidatious.
How's your day so far, Kerry? Everything good?
Yep, not too bad.
All right, glad to hear it, brother. Are you ready to play Beat the Toaster?
Let's go.
Nice.
All right, nice attitude. Kerry, we're going to start off with this. Name any U.S. presidents throughout history. Go.
Hoover, Coolidge, Trump, Biden, Lincoln, Washington, Ford, Bush, young Bush, older Bush, Trump.
Yeah.
That's it. Toast has popped. It's a lovely Breadsmith sourdough.
Oh, thanks. Was that, what did we get there? Was it 10 or 11?
I got 9 on there.
9. Okay.
Because he said Bush, then he said older Bush, younger Bush. So that's 2 for those 3.
So I think that means, well, you got 9. So if I said, so that means, is it 9 or 10, I guess I should say.
I got 9.
Can't count that high. I don't know.
Okay.
It sounds like 10 to me.
Well, Tony's the authority.
Both bushes.
He is the toaster, the toast master.
All right, Toastmaster General says 9. Or if this game were in German, he'd say 9.
Mine ears.
But so Carrie, by the way, make no mistake, for round 1, 9 is sensational. Very well played, sir.
Very nice.
We're going to put you on hold. We'll see you in a few moments for round 2. But let's get back to round 1. Contestant number 2 is Rebecca. Rebecca, good morning.
Good morning.
You ready to beat some toast?
I am.
Or wait, hold on. Sorry. That sounded
Steve.
all wrong. No, are you ready to beat some bread? No, that's bad too. Are you ready to play Beat the Toaster?
I am.
Woo! All right, let's do it.
Cool. Rebecca, maybe you're going to head up north for the 4th. Name any kind of fish you might find in a Minnesota lake. Go to it.
Walleye, perch, bluegill, sunfish, bass, largemouth bass, southmouth bass, northern. Oh, what the hell else is there? Perch, yellow perch.
Wow.
She was wailing on that one.
Yeah, that's a lot. She did not say whale, but she was. Yeah. So what's our count? What do we think that was, guys? I got 8. But again, maybe it was 9. I don't know. I think it was 8.
I think it was 9.
She went with perch and yellow perch,
the yellow made it the 9.
Okay, that's right. She did go back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Wow, man,
neck and neck.
What a day so far. We're kicking off July in fine form, ladies and gentlemen.
You know your Minnesota fish. That's pretty good. That's like the whole top half of the poster right there.
Man, I would have had 2 at least. I know that I caught 2 when Zepp and I were out at the.
You got the walleye. She didn't mention the sauger, but yeah, you have a sauger.
Oh, the sauger! That would have been 3.
That's kind of like a walleye, darker.
Cousin of the walleye.
Yeah, it's in that whole perch family.
I can tell you this: when the sauger came on the boat, and the guy goes, "Oh, a sauger," I went, "Oh, okay, sure, whatever you say, it's just a fish, as far as I can tell." All right, Rebecca and Carrie both came firing with 9s. Very exciting. This is definite 4th of July fireworks so far on Beat the Toaster. It's time for round 2. Carrie, well played in round 1, sir. It usually gets a little tougher in round 2. I wish you the best of luck, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Carrie, congrats. You recently got a new pet ferret. Now you want the ferret's name to sound patriotic. What do you name your ferret? Go ahead.
Rainbow, Stars, Spangled Banner, USA, America, Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Mercifully, the bell. Although that was pretty good.
That was pretty good. I think I got 6.
Are we counting Minnesota and Wisconsin?
Why not?
It's patriotic.
All right.
Yeah, he's a homer. That's patriotic. Doesn't he?
Yeah,
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, a little something for everybody.
Was Star Spangled Banner just one name?
I think it is.
All right.
So I got 6. Are we in agreement there, Tone?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so that's 15 total, Carrie. Very, very strong effort. Well played. Well played.
Nice.
All right. It's time to go back to Rebecca on line 2. Rebecca, 6 for the tie, 7 for the win. Good luck.
Rebecca.
Yes.
You with us, dear?
I am, dear.
All right. Not red, not white, but name some things that might make you blue. Go.
Getting sad, getting broke up with, eating too many blueberries, blue dye. What makes me blue? Getting hit by a car while I'm trying to win tickets on a contest. Getting pulled over by a police officer for talking on my phone even though I'm pulled over.
Oh!
Bang.
Oh, what makes
you
blue?
Hey, was this a...
on the 4th of July?
Yeah. I think we have a tie, Rebecca. Tell me if I'm wrong, Tony, but that sounded like 6 to me.
I got 6 as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait a second. Are you doing commentary? Did this turn into commentary? You didn't get flagged while you were playing the game, did you?
I'm just rolling with it.
All right.
Yeah, you
I
are.
like it.
All right.
I like your spirit.
That's great. Well, Rebecca, well played. What that means with a total of 15 is that you and Carrie have tied on Beat the Toaster today, which means we go to a tie breaker If past is any indicator, what's going to happen is Tony's going to ask you both a question. You'll give us an answer, and closest to the correct answer will be the winner.
That is correct, Steve-O. That's how this works.
Beautiful. Carrie, we'll get your answer first, and then we'll get Rebecca's.
All right.
This is very exciting. I'm all tingly. All right, your question. The Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the world's tallest building. How tall is it in feet?
1,200 feet.
All right, 1,200 feet. Rebecca?
Rebecca might need to hear that question again.
I said I didn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Rebecca, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the world's tallest building. How tall is it in feet?
And shoot, 420.
420 feet? All right.
Yes. Not even close.
And the answer is?
Correct answer, 2,716 feet.
That's a tall boy. That's a tall boy there.
Yes, it is.
Almost at 420 in yards. Still wouldn't have gotten you there. But Rebecca, man, what a great effort on your part. I'm sorry you came up short on the tiebreaker. Thank you very much for playing. Carrie, my man, with 1,200 feet as your guest, you, sir, have won tickets to see the Stray Cats August 9th. Congratulations.
Hey, great. Thank you.
You got it. That's going to be a great show.
When is too tall? I mean, geez, that's... I mean, the IDS is about 1,000, I think.
No need. No need at all for a building that tall.
Yeah. Whew.
I just don't even want to... I cannot imagine being that high off the ground in a building.
You'd get some wobble up there, wouldn't you?
You're in the clouds.
I would hope you'd get some wobble. It would kind of seem like it would be... You'd need the wobble.
Yeah. Might be a good one to jump off of, a little base jump.
Oh, my God. That's awful.
Got some time.
That's awful. We've been talking about bee sting stories all morning. Bees, wasps, hornets, whatever you got. Hell, if it stung you, we're all ears. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and text line. This is a great text. Here's a bee sting story for you. Being a couple of buddies back in like 7th or 8th grade, we used to catch bees and see how many bee stings we could inflict.
Good job.
After 5 or 6, you were a he-man. One of the guys took 11 bee stings on purpose.
What a badass.
Yeah, either that or you're a masochist. Which is it? Masochist if you do it to yourself, or is it sadist? Yeah.
Masochist.
Masochist, yeah. I mean... But
there was a kid in my 5th grade class, Ronald, and in 5th grade... there were still that's when my family moved to Kentucky, and I discovered corporal punishment still existed, as in teachers would paddle kids. They would pull out a paddle and just whip your ass if you did something wrong. And there was a kid in my class named Ronald Babb, and he would... the teachers called these, if you got a paddling, it was called a lick. How many licks did you get? And we would give him money, and he would take licks. Like, he would literally, 4 people would pony up a quarter. For $1, he would mouth off in class and go get a lick. And he would just do it and not even flinch. And it was just one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I was simultaneously repulsed and impressed every time.
You know, and at some point in his life, he had to start paying for that. He got paid for it.
Yeah.
But then when you're an adult, you have to pay for that privilege, or at least meet someone, that'll give you a good whipping every once in a while. I think you probably end up liking it. I don't know. Those kids that would injure themselves for money.
A literal hard ass, Ronald Babb. I wonder what he's doing now.
Like a callus on his ass. Right? Don't you want to track him down? What is he up to?
This text, Craig from Bloomington says, vacationing in Michigan, my brother was walking ahead of mom and dad. Dad saw a hornet nest in a tree ahead of him, picked up a rock and shot the nest with a slingshot. My brother ended up getting 10 stings.
Someone always else paid. Yeah, I did that out there with one of those ground hives when my brother and I were picking rocks. And I'm throwing the rocks in there. And he's saying, don't do that. There are bees and that's a hive. I'm like, whatever. Just get rid of the rocks. Rather than throw them on the back of the pickup like I'm supposed to, I thought it was easier to throw it in a hole. And those bees came out of there snorting mad and went right after Chris. Chased them all the way to the dugout. Didn't touch me.
when we had our wasp infestation in our house, the guy that cleaned it out, it was early June, first week of June when that happened, and he was about to head up to Michigan. He said he spends the summers up in northern Michigan dealing with bees in barns, and he was like, "Oh yeah, no, sometimes there'll be 100,000, 200,000 in a barn." And I'm like, what? Who's ignoring barns in Michigan until they get 200,000 bees?
Burn them down and take the insurance money. Just rebuild.
Completely insane. 651-989-ROCK, KQ Talk and Text Line. Tony, who have we got?
We got Rick on line 1, followed by Michael on line 2 with their big bee stingy stories.
Rick, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Steve and gang, and nice to talk to you all again.
Good to talk to you, sir. What have you got for us?
Back when I was a junior in high school, I was out on a motorcycle ride. Nice hot day, and I just had a pair of shorts on and had my feet up on the highway pegs and little county road and cruising down the road about 60 miles an hour. All of a sudden, I had 2 bees go up my left short leg. Oh my God! They stung me before I was able to stop and get them out. But oh my gosh, that was a little scary.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Oh my God!
Because you gotta, like our previous caller, you gotta keep that bike on the road. You know, it's not like a car. You can't just whip her into the ditch.
I know. I managed to do that. Managed to keep it on the road, but boy, that was a little tough.
They got you inner thigh, or did it make it all the way home?
Oh no! It got most of the way up there, but they were
most of the way up
there.
Yeah. So, all right, keep up the mediocre work, guys.
Thank you. Fair enough. Man, all right, let's see if we can all tolerate one more. Michael is on the KQ Talk and Text line. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, morning, crew.
What do you got for us?
So, we're up in Grancy, and the LeMay boys and my brother and I are walking through the woods and playing with sticks and stuff. We're about 10, 12 years old. And as we come out, we're all walking in a single file line. Pretty soon, my brother behind me starts freaking out, like screaming and crying. We can't figure out what's going on. Mrs. LeMay figures it out. He's getting stung by bees, so she starts taking off his clothes, and sure enough, all of these bees come out of his pants, and she stripped them down even to the underwear. Those came out, and one came out of there. So he got whacked.
Out of there.
How do they get in there, those little sons of...
Well, we figured it's a ground wasp nest.
Yeah.
And we walked the LeMay boys walked over it, me and then my brother somehow got him up his pants. And so that night we learned how you destroy a ground hive with gasoline and a match and watch them suckers burn. It was sweet justice for my brother.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Ow.
I miss playing with sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Making fires.
Yeah.
Just drawing up plays in the backyard sandlot football. Can you go over here and then do a button hook fake and then I'll pump it? Yeah, no. Now we're talking about gasoline matches, sweet revenge, killer justice.
I mean, they started it.
God. I'm breaking out in hives just hearing all these stories. This is fantastic. Hey, this is important. KQ's Rock the Boat 80s cruise is headed to Stillwater Friday, July 26th on Stillwater Riverboats. We're going to have live music from Rough House Rocks, drinks with the KQ crew, and free food. Tickets are on sale right now at 92kqrs.com, sponsored by Hoffman Weber Construction. Bees, and more bees. Keep it here. Stung, got a story? 651-989-ROCK. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It's Monday, July 1st. We started off the show talking about a gentleman in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 55 years old, stung by a bee on his eyeball, not the eyelid, not the eyebrow, right there in the eyeball. Several medical visits later, it seems like he's going to be okay, but it just set us off on a horrible course of action for the day. More and more phone calls and text messages about bee stings. They continue to roll in, and we've been sharing a lot of them with you. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talk and Text line. Happy to hear from you, your bee sting trauma. Ron in Monticello is waiting on line 1. Ron, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Ron, what have you got for us?
Yeah, I've been listening for many years, but got a good story about my dad. Passed away from the bee stings. He was in the garden at ground bees. So he decided to get rid of them with some WD-40. Of course, they come out and stung his ass up pretty good. He went in the garage and sat down. Ended up, his throat swelled up so much he passed out and fell down and half under the truck. Just so happened to be lucky enough, my mom went out, brought the garbage out to the street, and come back up, heard him gasping for air. Found him under the truck, and she ended up calling the ambulance and my brother, and by the time they got there, he was already gone. So they had to shock him back to bring him in, get him back to life, and talked him in the hospital there. And the funny thing is, he said that was a peaceful way to go. Just lucky to be my mom happened to go by at the same time.
So he literally, his heart stopped. They were able to bring him back.
Yeah, he choked out, and then they gave him some shot to get the swelling down, and shocked him, and so he could breathe again. So,
oh my gosh, what a! I mean, thank God they brought him back. That story was heading one way. I'm glad to see it turned around. How long ago did this happen?
Oh, this had been about 15 years ago.
Whew. Man, that is a horrifying story.
Yep, the bees are nasty.
Yeah, I'd say that's a bit of an understatement, Ron. Thank you for the call, brother.
Yep. Hey, bye.
Interesting, though, Dad said it was a peaceful way to go. You always wonder. You don't know. Is dying in your sleep the best way to go, or is it agony? We don't get afterlife stories very often, but I guess bee stings, the upside would be.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm just thinking that's a peaceful way to go, and then you wake up, you've been shocked back to life, and then you're just in pain again. Like, oh, for God's sakes. Oh, that's incredible. Here's a text from Matt. I was playing a disc golf tournament a couple years ago. Came up to my shot to putt, and my disc had landed next to a ground nest. Got stung in my ankle and my ear. I was thinking about this earlier, wondering if we were going to get one of these. The bee almost went in my ear. Luckily, I think my hair prevented that. Worst part was I still had to go back to take my shot. Yeah, I was thinking, because we heard about the eye. We heard about a lot of bees in a lot of people's pants, apparently. But what about one in your ear? That would do me in. I think that would be, just right this side of a little better than the eyeball, but in the ear would be pretty horrific.
Yeah. Be reminding you he's there. I'm still in here.
Yeah. Oh, for God's sakes, this is all just getting worse and worse. But I can't help it. I gotta hear it. We got Bob on the horn. Bob, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What do you got for us?
Bee sting story.
Lay it on me, brother.
So this is in the mid-'80s, and some friends of mine from high school, we used to go up in the Boundary Waters backpacking quite a bit. And we were up and we were hanging out by the fire and having some beer and whatnot, and somebody said, oh, there's a beaver dam down a little ways here. So we took our flashlights to walk down there, and a friend of mine fell off the edge of the trail and into a rotten log, and all of a sudden we looked down, and there was just a cloud of wasps of some sort, and they were just stinging the crap out of him. And he jumps up, flailed around a little bit, and then he jumped into the creek, which was very cold because it was only like April.
Yeah.
And they, when they hit the cold water, they must have kind of clammed up and they quit. And we pulled him out and we got him back to the fire and got his clothes off, and we counted 17 stings. The next day, when we woke up, we were too far away to go to the hospital or anything. But the next day, when he woke up, he was like a rusty old lawn chair. He could barely move, but he survived it. But the funny part of it is when we got him back to the fire, he just refused to take all his clothes off, and we said, "There's probably some in there that are kind of clammed up from the cold water. You better not." And then Then all of a sudden, he was grabbing at his back, and there was one under there that warmed up by the fire and got him again. So,
of course.
Yeah, when guys come out of the cold water, they don't want to take their clothes off. It can be embarrassing, sure. Yeah.
It was, like I say, I'm going to say it was late April, so you're talking the Boundary Waters. That water was probably 35, 40 degrees, you know?
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Pretty strong.
It was a good one. And everybody that was there said he flipped and flopped, and it was literally like some sort of like the Tasmanian devil off the cartoon or something. It wasn't even human motions the way he was flinging himself around when they were getting him.
Man, as with all these stories, it's funny because it didn't happen to me. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Here's a text on the text line. I'm a beekeeper. I was out in the bee yard working on hives in my bee suit in a pasture miles from anywhere. Hot day. I'm drinking a lot of water. What goes in must come out. I walked 500 feet away from the hives and thought I was safe to pee. I pulled out my Johnson to do my business, and guess it doesn't take a genius to figure out where I got stung.
Did you move in the peep?
It hurt worse than in second grade when I caught my wiener in my zipper, and the school nurse had to get it out of the zipper.
Franks or the beans?
Yeah,
man, that's called a lifelong twofer right there.
Right on the Weenski.
Yeah, you know what? Just pee down your leg next time. Keep the bee suit on at all times. Do not cross. Don't give that bee. You know, one guy said earlier, the bees, they go for the eyes. I guarantee you they also go for that Johnson. They see it come. They know it.
The one-eyed Willie.
651-989-ROCK, talking text line. We got Perry on hold. Perry, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're great, brother. What do you got for us?
Hey, about 4 years ago, I swallowed a bee. It ended up well because I'm here, but I was going in for cancer surgery, and I was working out for a run and trying to stay in shape before the surgery. And I'm running, and all of a sudden I hear the like a cat trying to hawk out the hair ball.
Yeah, hawk tua, I think.
Yeah, so I'm going like, this isn't good. I get home, open my mouth, look in the mirror, and there's a big black stinger in the back of my throat.
Oh my God!
So I go down to the local emergency room, which I won't say where, and I don't know if it was the Walmart people working or what the deal was, but they said, "Well, we've never seen anything like that before." And I'm going, well, that's not a good program.
That's not good.
They called an ENT specialist. They said, drive over to Edina. And I'm having a tough time breathing. And they tell me to get into a car, drive a 3,000-pound car over to Edina so I can get there before the doctor takes the day off at 3:30.
Well, can you hang around, please, while you...
Yeah, can you hang around? And I'm in the waiting room trying to breathe while they come out and they're looking at me.
Sorry, got a tea time.
Yeah. He says, I see this all the time. Took a forceps, pulled the stinger out. Long story short, I made it out, but I was a little nervous. I drove myself to 2 different hospitals so they could remove a bee stinger from my swollen throat.
Yow.
Man, Perry,
you gotta give him that hawk to it.
Get rid of that
I love
thing.
you guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you for taking my call, and you guys have a great day.
You got it, Perry. Thank you. Earned his stripes that day. Good Lord.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, driving with the driving a car while wondering if you're going to continue to be able to breathe. That's not comfortable.
No, into more than one location. If I'm worried about if I'm going to breathe, my throat is going to close. I'd like to get this done on the first stop.
Man, that is rough. And thank you very much. Yeah, guys, I got to one hospital. How about just keep it at one here? Tubby on the text line. My man Tubby doing yard work at 12. Giant bee came out of nowhere, stung me right on my eyebrow. My whole eye swelled up huge to the size of a hoppity hop and stayed like that the entire day. Fair enough.
We've heard a lot around the eyes. There might be some of that they go for the eyes kind of thing. I forget if that caller was talking about hornets, if he was talking about bees, but crafty little buggers. I mean, save the bees.
Check this out. 6 years old, strap-on roller skates, skated through a gap in some hedges, got stung 5 times from yellow jacket wasps. Great-grandmother, 88 years old, runs across the street with her snuff, puts in a spoon and spits on it. put it on the strings, and the pain went away. Nice. Put it on the stings, I mean.
Yeah, grandmas know. They've been around the block. They get it.
Well, there's nothing snuff can't fix. That's the lesson I'm taking away from that.
That's right.
Man, you just put snuff on put enough snuff on a bone break, and it'll heal.
It's got some of that good old school medicinal purpose.
Yeah, you know it. We still got a ton of text messages. It's interesting. Since we're talking about like horrific summer things, bee stings primarily, how about this? There is a recall out there right now. The Consumer Product Safety Commission has recalled, no, not lawn darts, but a lawn chair. 70,000 lawn chairs are being recalled after causing gruesome finger injuries for at least 2 people. 2 people suffered, quote, partial finger amputations after getting their fingers caught between the chair frame and the adjustable backrest. And according to the CPSC, quote, unexpectedly, it can descend with force. Yeah, so these are just, it's a Sinmar Front Gate Resort Collection Newport chaise. When it's called a chaise, you're going to pay way more than you need to for it. These chairs, so you got the adjustable back, like just a chair by the pool or at the beach. You can lean back, you can lean all the way down, sit up, you want to read. So apparently, between the chair frame and the adjustable backrest, this particular chair, again, the Sinmar Front Gate Resort Collection Newport chaise, in both aluminum antique, crushing down on people's fingers.
Well,
that's not good.
Can you work a folding chair? How's life going for you?
It's the kind of thing where you would think that this would not require instructions, but I guess it does.
I don't know. Maybe we should just all go to beanbag chairs.
You put me in a beanbag chair, there's going to be a nap. I'm just saying that right now.
It's hard to get out of some of those suckers. I mean,
the bigger and more comfortable they are, the more I'm just there.
Yeah, I knew someone that paid like $1,500 for one of these huge love sacks. Sounds a little inappropriate, doesn't it? But yeah, one of these huge ones. You don't even know how they get it into they're always in the basement, of course. But those things are huge. And I did the old running leap and got into it. And that was I think I spent the pandemic in there. That thing was so comfortable. You get lost in it.
A beanbag chair and a good, honest to God, full-sized rope hammock. I'm not getting out of either.
No.
Unless literally if I hear sirens, maybe.
You know what else? You're not going to lose a finger.
Very, very true. Very true. I mean, might lose a finger from lack of blood flow from sloth-like activity over the year. Yeah, you put me in there for 3 weeks, and suddenly I got like bed sores, and my fingertips are blue. But that's just because I'm literally refusing to move. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, I get that.
A whole bunch of people on Saturday were moving out of a stadium in Milwaukee, American Family Field. Brewers hosting the Chicago Cubs. After the game, an escalator from the terrace level to the loge level. Now, I've never been to that stadium. I don't know what exactly that means. But you've got a stadium that is, everybody's on the egress after the ball game. A escalator filled with baseball fans suddenly lurched forward and started running down very quickly, like way faster than it was supposed to. 11 people injured, 5 treated at the ballpark, 6 taken to hospitals in the area.
Yeah.
That's a fast-moving escalator right there.
Yeah, it's a long escalator, too. I just saw some video of it. They didn't show a video of the accident necessarily, but just some news footage of the escalator itself. These things are all a bit optical illusioned as you're watching it on film, but this is a long-ass escalator, and I suppose people they piled up. Was anything too serious? I hope not.
Nothing, no one life-threatening, but again, 6 people were taken to the hospital. One guy on the scene said, excuse me, I was just watching people ahead of me piling up on top of each other, everybody falling all over each other. This is after the ball game, so this is several large, expensive beers probably down everyone's gullet going down that escalator. I've seen people on moving sidewalks like it's just a little bit of a lurch, like at an airport. It'll just it's almost like it slips a gear, and There's something about moving sidewalks and escalators. No one's paying attention. You're just like, okay, it's doing the job for me. But if it speeds up, if anything changes, no one's ready for it. Everybody's off balance to begin with. It's one thing for an escalator to stop, but for it to speed up exponentially and just start racing downhill. The guy said, at first we were kind of laughing, but then it broke loose and it ran downhill like a roller coaster. That's going to be a little freaky.
And people just pile up at the bottom. I'm watching this happened in Rome in 2018, so I'm watching recorded footage of this now. Like I said, we don't have the AmFam field footage.
Right.
But I'm looking at this happening, and they're just piling up in a huge pile at the bottom. So, like a conveyor belt, and no one's there to get the people off the end of it. And this one's probably 5 or 6 people deep.
Yeah, that's and I'm a big fan of coming down on people when they get off an escalator and immediately stop to figure out is Sephora to the left or to the right? That drives me nuts. But this one, I would have to give people a break a little. If you're laying on top of somebody, you're third on a pig pile of escalator victims. Yeah, I'd feel bad for you.
I mean, there's photos. They're all piled up. There's no doubt about that. Someone was inappropriately touched in that pile.
Oh, yeah. And then on top of it, I mean, you're a Brewers fan. It's like, how many crosses does one person have to bear? You know what I mean? Like, oh, God, I love the Brewers, and the escalator tried to do me in. That's rough. There's just literally nothing good about that situation that I can think of.
They were pretty lubricated after the game.
I would certainly hope that was the case, if nothing else. That's... Now I'm really just thinking about all the how many near misses have there been when you're with I'm thinking again at an airport, but I will always do what they say not to do. I jump on an escalator with a suitcase. Like if I'm at the airport, I'm like, I can handle a suitcase on the escalator, even though they're like, you should get on the elevator if you have luggage. But I've seen, how many people have you seen in life where they're tripping or stumbling or getting off the escalator seems to be a challenge?
Yeah.
More often, I mean, I've never seen anyone fall down all the way that I recall, but I've seen an awful lot of real close calls.
Oh, yeah, no, I saw an old lady out at the Mall of America face planted a couple of people in front of me getting off an upgoing escalator, and she just caught it, got the toe up and just didn't time it right, and she face planted. And I want to say she was probably well into her 70s, and of course we all helped her up and tried to do the best we could with her. She insisted, don't fuss, and she can walk it off, but we did have somebody from the mall come over with a wheelchair and check her out. But yeah, I mean, she went down hard.
Oh, that is brutal. That is brutal. All right, we're going to move on. It's time to fill in the bleep, as it were. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. Zep, Tony, and Steve Gorman are the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. The KQ Morning Show is back, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good Monday morning. It is July the 1st. That was Ragdoll by Aerosmith, a song Steven Tyler wrote with a guy named Jim Valance. Jim Valance wrote Summer of '69 with Bryan Adams, so he's had his name on a bunch of hit songs, including Ragdoll. But they originally wrote that song as Ragtime. And the original lyrics were more about like 1920s New Orleans, brothel, blah, blah, blah. The A&R guy heard that and was like, ragtime? What the hell are you talking about, ragtime? And so a woman named Holly Knight, who was a hit songwriter, flew up to Vancouver to work on some stuff. She heard that and she looked at Steven and said, why don't you just call it Ragdoll? And he goes, oh my God, that's it. That's all she said. She got a songwriting credit on that song.
Kidding.
Yeah, cashed in large. Just getting a piece of Ragdoll was good business back in 1989.
Hell yeah. Just got paid today.
Yeah, guarantee it. And I just like the idea of ragtime. Now, how about just Ragdoll?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like if I said to you, Brian, why don't you change your name to Brian Zeppelin? Can I get a piece?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Someone already tried that once. My bad.
Oh, God. Without even getting paid for it, just to make a fool out of me. I do that with my name just as Brian Zepp. But, yeah, that was weird. It wasn't odd.
We've been talking about bee stings all morning. There's some great text messages. Here's a great one. Was heading on a plane to Florida for work. I was doing a medical benefit fair. Prior to going to the airport, stopped for a smoke, and I got stung on the hand. I boarded the plane. It was swollen a little. By the time I got to Florida, I was having a hard time breathing. I was treated at the hospital that I was going to work at the next morning. My first bee sting, and I had to explain way too many times what happened. I eventually just made a sign that said, I got stung by a bee. Let's talk about your new benefits.
You got a discount at the new place.
Awesome. Yeah.
He said it was stung in the hand, but his shoulder was swollen. He said, so I stung in the hand. The swelling ended up in my shoulder. I looked like a hunchback. which reminds me of a horrible moment in a class my freshman year of college when I was in an English class, and a professor walked in, not my professor, but another guy from the English department came in to chat with my professor about something, and he had a hunchback. I'd never seen one in person, but the guy literally had one of those big hunchbacks. And as he walked up, the class hadn't started yet, so everyone's just chatting. It's the little murmur of conversation. The guy walked in. He went over to my professor to say, hey, let me get you for a quick minute there, Sam. And they're chatting. And I said to the guy next to me in a voice a little louder than I meant to, right as a hush came over the room, I said, I had a hunch he'd be here today.
Oh, you did not.
I did. I did. And everybody except the guy with the hunchback looked over to see who said that. Uh-huh. And I did the same thing. I spun right around like, who in the hell said that? Right. I looked like right behind me like, you piece of dirt.
Was there anyone behind you?
Yeah, there was some guy doing it. Everybody's like, where? I was like, oh, man, that was close. That was troublesome.
I don't mean to embarrass you, but I'm a rather brilliant surgeon. Perhaps I could help you with that hump.
What hump?
What hump? It's so great. What hump?
Oh, wow.
All right, so we've got a little something we're going to do here. Ryder's cooked up a game to torture us, I believe.
Torture? I think it's going to be a blast because you guys are all history buffs, and I know you know your presidents.
I am only a history buff as long as, depending on how close I am to my Google search.
Okay.
That's the history I know.
I don't think Google's going to help you with this one, man.
Son of a...
Yeah. Hey, I pulled a bunch of really famous quotes from presidential speeches. I bleeped out one of the words, and then we'll just go around the room, and you all can tell me what that word is. If you get it right, you get a point. If you get it wrong, that sucks to be you.
Wow. Okay.
We're gonna do an example first. This one's really easy. Tony, go ahead and do the clip one.
All right.
Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to is itself.
So we should know. That's a real easy one.
That's
We should all know that one.
I'm going to say bees.
The only thing we should have to eat is dinner. No. That's fear. That's a double dose of fear right there.
Okay, so you guys all got it. So let's get started. Steve, you go ahead and go first. Tony, go ahead with clip 2.
Let me assert my...
Oh, you don't want to hear the correct one?
Well, I think we got, sure. But just to verify that we are
Let me
correct.
assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Yeah,
That's from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. Mm-hmm. Really an amazing, one of the first recordings ever.
Right.
Beautiful.
Good quality audio for that time.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
As it turned out, also Japanese bombs and German bullets. We had those to fear, but I'm just nitpicking.
Yeah, it's part of the process.
All right, Tony, go ahead. Steve, this one's for you.
And therefore, as a man, I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner.
All right, fill in the bleep.
And therefore, as a hot and horny man, here at the Reaper Bond, I say to you here, hot and horny. He was in Germany. He was away from home. You know, JFK was a tomcat.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to give you a bonus point for that one. Tony, go ahead.
And therefore, as a free man.
Oh, damn it.
I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner.
He was free to party German style is what he was free to do.
He was.
Man. All right,
Bean indeed.
I'll take the
bonus point? The creativity, the style point?
I'll take the style point.
All right, go for it. Hey, Zep's up next. Play the next one.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
What?
Well
That was
said.
Dwight. That was Dwight. I like Ike. I don't know. I don't even remember what the heck the thing was. I kind of missed it there.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
I really thought it was going to be porn.
The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
Well, the good news is everybody heeded his warning. and the military-industrial complex was shut down the next day. That's good. Yeah. Man, Ike knew it was up, man. I mean, Fonzie was voting for him. I mean, he had to go right. Remember?
Fonzie liked Ike.
Yeah, Fonzie didn't have time for Adlai Stevenson.
He had the button, didn't he?
Sure did.
Okay, so 0 points for boobs. We'll move on. Tony, go ahead. The next one's for you.
Yet, as long as others will challenge America's security and test the dearness of our beliefs with steel, then we must stand or see the promise of 2 centuries crumble.
Wow.
Fried steel.
Fried steel.
Oh, at the state fair. That's
Yet, as long as others will challenge America's security and test the dearness of our beliefs with fire and steel, then we must stand.
Fire and steel.
Fire. Yeah,
Fire and steel.
That's like Favre. That's like bar. They got attacked by a bar.
If we had let the audio play, because I don't think there's a single LBJ speech ever where he does not at some point bring it around to the word bunghole. he throws a bunghole in there at least once every speech.
This is a guy he would brag about sitting in the crapper to conduct meetings. His staff would stand outside the toilet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's he had to go down Texas.
Not real sophisticated.
Nah, he was his own man, as they say. All right, I think we're 0 for 3, honestly, here. We got to pick up our game here, fellas.
Moving on to round 2, final round.
Okay.
Therefore, I shall resign, effective at noon tomorrow.
Therefore, I shall resign in shame and horror. I believe that's what he said, in shame and horror.
Therefore, I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Damn it.
The presidency, that's right.
August 9th, 74. Is that right, I believe? I know I was at the beat where family had a little Ocean City, Maryland trip, and we were all listening to that on the radio like it was the 40s for crying out loud. But we all sat around and listened to President Nixon resign.
They played that at summer camp when I was a kid over the loudspeakers.
I just remember my mom dancing, and I was like, "What's up, Dad?" And he goes, "Yeah, they got rid of Nixon." I'm like, "Oh, all right, sounds good." I mean, I was like 6 or something at the time. I
think you could easily also argue that Nixon got rid of Nixon.
Yeah, well, he did. Wait a minute, I thought he wasn't a crook.
Yeah, that's what they say. His original VP was a Maryland guy, Spiro Agnew, who is as crooked as it comes. I mean, like Hunter Thompson used to say about those guys, they had to have their pants. They were so crooked they had to have their pants screwed on every morning.
I'm not a crook.
Oh, well, there you have it.
There it is. All right, I'm 0 for 2, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
we know better, Steve. I'm actually 0 for 1. I didn't know that one. All right, I'm going to just bear down here.
General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, open this gate.
Starts with a P. What word starts with a P that I am partial to?
Perestroika. Perestroika.
I don't know.
Papillomavirus.
Yeah, if you seek papillomavirus.
Platypus.
Platypus. That's a great P word.
Pyramids.
It's got a lot of the syllables in it.
That was the speech at the Cairo gates, right? It's about the pyramids.
If you love platypus, tear off those pants, Mr. Gorbachev. Am I close?
General Secretary Gorbachev, If you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe.
I didn't see that one coming.
Man.
Tear down that wall. It was awkward. Gorbachev was just standing right on the other side of the wall. He could hear everything he was saying.
His ear was right to it.
Oh, it was just awkward.
Oh, man, Zep getting skunked. Tony, last one.
All right.
Never before have we had such a blessed opportunity, and therefore such a profound obligation to build the more perfect union of our dreams.
Well, it's Bill, so I'll go with fantasy.
Fantasy. That's a good F word.
Yeah, no kidding for Bill. That's appropriate.
Never before have we had such a blessed opportunity, and therefore such a profound obligation to build the more perfect union of our founders' dreams.
Oh, founders.
Yeah.
Founders' dreams.
You got that little smirk on your face and you think you're so clever.
It's just good hearing Tony bring back the old Clinton impression. Been a while.
Oh, so fun.
Hadn't heard that one ever, actually. It's pretty darn good.
Oh, man. So I awarded a lot of style points, but officially everybody's skunked on this round of fill in the bleep. So shocked nobody got any of those.
Man, unbelievable. I was thinking, what's an F word he might use? And I came up with fallopian, but I was like, no, that's probably not. Probably not a good way to go with flowers. That's right. What did he know about the dreams of flowers?
Wasn't there a Jennifer Flowers in there somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Amsterdam straight there was. Her dream turned to nightmares when the governor himself showed up. Oh, Slick Willie, we hardly knew ye. Too bad that's not the case.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do down here in Arkansas?
It turns out we picked the right profession, classic rock radio.
That we did?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Obviously, we weren't going to be making any legitimate news sources, I don't think.
I went to the Kennedy Center Honors. We, myself and two of my bandmates performed at the 2000 Kennedy Center Honors as the Chuck Berry, part of the Chuck Berry induction. And it was awesome. The whole weekend was great. A lot of cool things happening in Washington that weekend. But the afternoon of the award, the Sunday of the award show, before we went to the Kennedy Center, we all went to the White House. And this was Bill's last Kennedy Center Honors. This is like the week that the hanging Chad thing had been resolved, and so Bush W was going to come in, and he had beaten Al Gore officially like that week. And so this was, there was a lot of emotions around the White House, and Clinton's VP was not going to be the president. They're going back to the Republicans. You could just feel it, a lot going on. And I'm going in there thinking I was never really a Bill Clinton fan. So I was very much like, just get this guy out of here. I'm ready to see him go. And we went into a room, and he gave a little talk and a speech about the five the five people that were being awarded with the Kennedy Center Honors. And in a smallish room, he got up there and spoke what seemed to be extemporaneously. Like, he didn't have cue cards. He didn't have a teleprompter. He just stood up there and went, Chuck Berry, when I was 12 and I heard, and then he just talked for like 5 or 6 minutes. And he goes, Angela Lansbury, the first time I saw you was in Mame on Broadway or whatever the hell it was. And then Clint Eastwood, boy, make my day. He just gave up. And I'm watching him and I'm thinking, oh, he's just such an entertainer. He's not a real person. He's just so slick. And after like literally 15 minutes of him talking, I was under his spell. And I was like, I think I'd take a bullet for this guy. I mean, do you want me to go punch somebody? Can I do anything for you? I've never seen so much charm and charisma ooze off of a person that I did not like at the beginning. Yeah. And it really was like, I mean, I seriously felt dirty afterwards. I was like, what just happened? I watched this guy talk for 20 minutes and now I want to just help him. It was weird. I've never been that close to somebody. And take away what my personal feelings for him were. I've never been around anybody with that kind of an aura of vibe. And I was like, oh, there's a reason he was president in his 40s. And there's a reason everybody ignores everything we know about him to say, he's great. And I was like, wow. I posted a photo of me. There was a photo of me shaking his hand. And I posted it on social media many years later when social media had been invented. and I said, "This is the look I get when I see a snake." I was like, I just have this bizarre, like, hey, what's going on?
I mean, you weren't the only one. He came out of nowhere, won the presidency, and then after such scandal that no one would ever recover from, won re-election. I remember after, or while he was running for re-election, he came to, I was working for a different radio station in town. We had a TV station in the same building, and President Clinton was coming to do a little town hall, and there were women there that, whatever, and guys there that hate his guts. Everybody lined up, and he came walking through, and the same thing. They were just, falling all over each other, having a crush on this guy. But he had that thing, I guess.
It was scary.
Yeah,
it was really. I mean, and I've been around like a lot of giant rock stars, and I've met some famous people. Nothing came close to that guy. And then, of course, as I referenced, his vice president, who did not win that election, Al Gore, the exact opposite.
Oh, the exact opposite.
I mean, as you shake his hand, you start to feel like a nap coming on.
It's like, slightly cold oatmeal.
Yeah, just the policy wonk of all policy wonks. Well, I'd like to talk to you about the Third Amendment, but man, unbelievable. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. The Eagles, remember them? Little rock band from California, country rock, alt rock, whatever you want to call it, alt country. Yeah, the Eagles. They're still kicking. They're still on the road, and they will be performing live at the Sphere in Las Vegas this fall, and you could be there. You can win a trip for two, and of course, that includes your round-trip air travel, a stay at the Venetian Resort Las Vegas, a nice dinner, 2 tickets to the show, plus a VIP experience package. Text the national keyword BEST, B-E-S-T, to 95819 now to enter for a chance to win. BEST. I guess Best of My Love. I was like, why Best? Not Pete Best. Why Best? Oh, Best of My Love. Yeah, sure. So text BEST right now, 95819. Enter for a chance to win. For every great song, every rock anthem, every all-time iconic songs that move into the culture and become a part of our lives, there's always a great backstory. And some of them are way more of a straight line than others. The most unsurprising backstory for an all-time classic, I'm going to share it with you. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line, 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Monday, July the 1st. That was John Mellencamp. R-O-C-K in the USA. I imagine he wrote that song because he likes R-O-C-K in the USA. I imagine that's the vibe with him. He's like, you know what I like, man? I like rock music in America.
Hell yeah.
And then someone said, yeah, but that doesn't flow off the tongue. He goes, what if I said R-O-C-K in the USA? And they said, yeah, John, that's good. You never know where songs come from. A lot of times, very famously, arguably the most famous Beatles song of all, Hey Jude, written from Paul to Jules, meaning Julian Lennon. John and Cynthia were getting divorced. John's son was heartbroken, and Paul's going, hey, Jules, don't take it bad, because Paul's just that kind of guy. Good old Uncle Paul. And then he changes it to Jude because that sounds better. But, songs come from somewhere. Sometimes there's a real direct line from where the song comes from. And then you get a song like White Rabbit, and it's not about Peter Cottontail. You know what I'm saying?
What?
You just never really know. Sammy Hagar, a man who writes from the heart, a man who just is a straight line thinker. Remember before he joined Van Halen in 1984, he had a little number called I Can't Drive 55.
Might have heard it.
That's what he said.
He said he can't drive 55, by God. Here's the deal. Driving in New York State somewhere, he got popped doing 62 in a 55.
Oh, come on.
And he said, at the time, this is a recent interview, he's talking about that song, and he said, in that moment, I thought, man, I can't drive 55, And then, I swear, it was like God struck me with lightning. He was like, oh, my God, that's a song. I can't drive 55. And you think to yourself, golly, all it takes is one speeding ticket to get an amazing song out of it? Oh, not so fast. It was his 34th speeding ticket.
Ooh, Sammy, I'm impressed, dude.
It was his 34th. So it doesn't, first 33, nothing. But on 34, boom, inspiration struck.
You just got to stick with it, till you get that good idea.
His license had already been revoked 3 different times and then reinstated. Revoked, reinstated, revoked, reinstated, revoked, reinstated. His car insurance annually in 1984 was $135,000 because of all those tickets.
What in the hell, Sammy? I mean, mad props, dude. You got some street cred there. I had 12 tickets in 1 year. Not all speeding tickets, but 12 moving violations. It was a bad year for me, for sure.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, it was a tough year.
I had a good buddy of mine. It lived in New York City, and he ran a restaurant on the Lower East Side. And you can get a monthly parking spot in the city in a ramp, in a parking deck in New York. It's crazily expensive. And for years, he just parked. If he couldn't find a metered space, he would just park on an unmetered space. If he found a metered space, he would never feed the meter. And he kept count of all the tickets he got. And if it was approaching the cost of every year, he would keep tabs and compare it to what a parking space for the year would cost. And he would get dozens of tickets and never came close to what it would have cost just to have a parking space.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, counting the beans, right?
Gaming the system. And by the way, Sammy's not the only one who can't drive 55. I've done this several times with my kids. It'll come up in conversation while we're in the car. When I got my driver's license, the speed limit was 55 miles per hour. And just last summer, I did it for a little bit with my son. Set the cruise control at 55 sometime when you're in the middle of nowhere. And tell me how long it is before you have before your brains explode out of your ears.
Right.
55 on a highway is crawling.
Oh, yeah, that's what it feels like.
Try growing up in South Dakota, where it's just a straight grid in every direction, and you can see 12 miles in every direction. There's not another car out there. And 55, really. But by God, they did have highway patrols and just a sheriff here and a sheriff there. And I got a speeding ticket going from our farm to Huron, South Dakota. It was 25 miles, most of it gravel. Got a speeding ticket on the way in. I'm like, son of a gun, so I'm going to take the gravel home. I'll take the less traveled route home. Son of a gun got me on the way home,
Did they hide on you behind a billboard and sneaky
in the
behind
tree
the corn stalks?
And, down in the ditch. You wouldn't see them till the last second. Yeah, they had all the tricks out
Hold
there.
on. Was it the same cop?
It was the same highway patrol.
The same guy got you twice in a day?
Got me twice in one day. Yeah.
That's great.
Officer Schmidt.
Good to see you again, Brian.
Hope he's enjoying his retirement.
I saw that car and I thought to myself, why does that look familiar? And then I realized because I just saw you about 2 hours ago, son. Man, so much for not heeding the warning.
No, I learned slow sometimes.
55. It's amazing. That was the national maximum speed limit for so long. Now, granted, that comes at a time when there was still the bridge from people who didn't wear seatbelts to who did. There weren't airbags yet. I mean, a high-speed crash in the 50s, 60s, and 70s was a very different thing than a highway crash today, at least percentage-wise. Way better chance of not walking away or not even surviving a crash in those days. And they were like, we got to get everybody to slow down. Imagine what the headlines were in Germany when they passed that law. They're over there on the Autobahn, much better roads, much better road system, and no speed limit whatsoever. And they're like, this just is the Americans. They can't go over 55 miles per hour. That's not even 100 kilometers per hour. That's so silly. Man. You get on that Autobahn, it's a whole different. I've never driven on the Autobahn. I've just been on it and riding, and man, there are motorcycles will go by you at full throttle, man, like it's nothing.
Hammer down.
Yeah, they get after it. Speaking of getting after it, this is the kind of story that people see and they go, oh, that's amazing. But golfers see and go, what a complete douchebag. His name is Frank Bensel, and he's apparently a golfer. He's 56 years old. And over the weekend at the Newport Country Club, Newport, Rhode Island, I guess in between trips on someone's yacht, he was participating in the U.S. Senior Open. Now, if you're wondering what a big deal the U.S. Senior Open is, apparently it's not a big enough deal for anyone to have cameras there, because I've yet to see video of this. But this is a true story. Frank Bensel, 56 years old, at the Senior Open, he had a hole-in-one on the fourth hole. It's a 184-yard par 3. Hole-in-one.
Yeah.
Big deal. I mean, that's awesome.
Well, yeah.
In a tournament, awesome. A hole-in-one.
And an open.
Bunch of witnesses in the U.S. Senior Open. So then he steps up to the fifth hole, which is also a par 3, 203 yards. And he gets another hole-in-one.
Son of a gun. Is he playing from the ladies' tees? I think the old guys play from the ladies' tees, don't they?
He didn't get 2 hole-in-ones in a U.S. Senior Open round. He got back-to-back consecutive hole-in-ones or holes-in-one. I don't know. Yeah. He did it twice in a row. 2 aces back-to-back. That is astonishing. Yeah. And with 2 aces, he still shot 4 over. so piss off, Frank. Yeah. How do you shoot 4 over with not 1 but 2 aces on the scorecard?
Does he have to buy everybody 2 drinks at the clubhouse?
Hell yeah. He's got to buy everyone a steak dinner.
Has that ever happened in any competitive golf event?
I've never heard of that happening.
Aces? No. I mean, I've never heard of it happening, period, let alone in competitive golf where there'll be the senior PGA, NCAA tournament, whatever.
Well, there's very few courses, I should say. There's not a whole lot of layouts with 2 straight par 3s to begin with. So that it's rare that a course would have a par 3 right next to a par 3. But yeah, 2 straight aces, 184 yards, and then 203. That's different clubs, I'm assuming. That's a 20-yard difference, so I can't imagine he used the same club for both, although I don't know how the holes lie out. But that's just astounding. Dude, on your second hole-in-one, just take the day, just leave the course. Just doff your cap, acknowledge the applause, shake your caddy's hand, and go to the bar and get loaded.
Yeah, I mean, it must not have been having a great round if he had 2 eagles, basically, and then still finished at 4 over. It's not like he was...
Maybe the adrenaline. Maybe it's like he literally got so worked up over the 2 aces he couldn't calm down. I'm not sure.
Just stop trying. You're never going to beat that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Just mail it in for the whole rest of the game.
It's like when I went over 200,000 on Game Boy Tetris. I never played again. I was like, I can't top. I can never top this. Not only did I never play again, I threw the Tetris machine off my balcony into a vacant lot next door while it was still doing the celebratory noise. And I was like, get it. I'm done. I got to quit while I'm ahead.
Did you do that Elway? You just ran off with your number 1 finger in the air? Yeah, just like number 1.
I had said for months to my long-suffering wife who was dealing with my Tetris addiction, I said, if I ever hit 200,000, I'm throwing this thing away. I'll never play again. And I did. And I said, open the door. And she literally opened the door, 9th floor condo. I ran to the balcony and launched it into a giant vacant lot 9 stories below.
And all the neighbors are thinking is, Tetris got the best of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no. They didn't realize it was a celebratory gesture. And you've never played again?
Never on a Game Boy. I've done a couple times. I'll play in a different form. It's not the same. It's all the new and improved Tetris. I like old school. If you handed me a Game Boy from like 1991 with that Tetris thing in there, I might go into like an 18-hour rabbit hole. I mean, it's dangerous.
Too tempting.
Someone go over to Steve's place, break free.
My gums are itching right now just saying those words. Oh, Game Boy, old classic Game Boy with Tetris. Oh man, back-to-back aces. I have 1 hole-in-one in my career. Zepp, you got one?
0.
0?
No, I put one 6 inches away one time.
Oof. I got. Not only did I hit a hole-in-one, I had a large group of people saw it because it was a par 3 that the green was overlooking. The green was the balcony off the course bar. So there was everybody who'd already finished their round is out on the balcony watching us hit up and enjoying their cocktails. So I had a gallery of people watching and cheering. And it's hysterically funny because I was playing horribly I hit a hole-in-one on the 9th hole, which gave me a 50 for the 9 holes.
Yeah, right there near the clubhouse. So
Not that I ever would have admitted it. And it was a shot it was the luckiest shot ever because I had a fade, right to left fade, which at that point in my life, I'd never hit a ball like that in my life. And I hit the ball far and it dropped and spun back. Complete blind. I have no idea how I did that. But I did have all the witnesses. And of course, then I had to act like I meant to do that. and then if you hit a hole in one, you then have to, as you alluded to, you buy everyone in the bar a beer if you hit the hole in one. And it was a lot of beer. It was a lot of drinks.
Yeah.
And then a lot of conversation where I had to act as if I knew how to hit a golf ball like that.
Well, I thought I had the right spin on it. I just wanted to give it enough loft with a little bit of draw so I'd spin it back. I knew the green was right to left. Yeah, right.
Yeah, ridiculous. It was, and I mean, the guys I was playing with, one was my tour manager, but 2 other dudes we'd been paired up with, they'd suffered through my 49 strokes over 8 holes. And then I hit that, and they all looked at me like, what the hell was that? I'm like, I have no idea. Just go with it.
I bet you rode that back 9 like you were frickin' Tiger Woods.
The horrible thing was we stopped after 9 because I had to catch a flight.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, literally. We only played 9 holes, so it technically doesn't count. You got to play all 18 to get credit for the ace.
To get the credit, yeah, but a hole-in-one is a hole-in-one. I had a buddy, I forget where we were, it doesn't matter, up north, but someone had left their card out on like 7, and this was, par 3, obviously. Left their card out and gone into the trees to pee. And we're waiting. We're like, Corey, man, just hit. I mean, you're not going to hit anyone. And he brought it off the tire, a hop off the tire, back onto the green, and it went over the cup, did that sort of in and out hop thing. And we're like, if you get a hole-in-one off a golf cart, it's going to blow our minds. Pretty close.
Pretty close. We lived, when I was a kid, our backyard, you'd go walk through the backyard, about 20, 30 yards of a good set of trees, like a little, the woods, we called it. Not a forest, but a good solid suburban woods. And then a path through the woods took you right to the 3rd hole of a golf course. And none of us played golf. We weren't, it was a country club, which we were not members of, but we lived just adjacent to the course. And it was the 3rd hole was a par 5. And to get to the green, you hit up a very large hill. The green was at the top of the hill. And for just about every golfer, it was a blind shot. You'd be at the bottom of this hill after your first hit, and then you would fire it up the hill. And my brothers, 2 brothers and a cousin and I are all in the woods one day. And so what we used to do is we'd wait in the woods and we'd see a ball fly up and land in the green or in the sand trap. And we would run out of the trees, grab the ball, and run back to the trees in plenty of time before the golfers got up there.
Son of a...
And then they'd look for their ball for 5-10 minutes, and we'd be in the trees going, this is so funny. And then they would leave, they'd drop their ball, and they'd cuss, and they'd go on. Well, then we'd walk out and to the next group, go, mister, do you want a ball? I found it in the woods. And they'd give you a quarter for a golf ball.
You little scammer.
Yeah. And so you do that once, and then you're off to the pool, and you got a quarter for a Coke. So it was a great deal. Well, my cousin's in from Michigan, and we're doing this. We're showing him how cool we are, and he has the greatest idea ever. He goes, no, I got a better idea. And then we're waiting, and then a ball comes flying up, and it lands at the edge of the green. He runs out of the trees, picks the ball up, and drops it in the hole.
Oh.
And then runs back to the trees. And we're all like, oh, my God, this is genius.
Yeah.
Watch the foursome approach. The one guy who had the really great 2nd or 3rd shot, whatever it was, he's looking around. And then one of the other guys who's on the green walks over and just looks in the hole. Like, you look in the hole to kind of be funny, like, hey, maybe you actually knocked it in. And he goes, oh, my God. And the dude who hit the ball runs over, picks his ball up, and he's dancing, celebrating. They're giving each other, at that time, low fives. I mean, they're so excited. And we just think that's the coolest thing ever. So we do it for like 4 or 5 guys that day. It never occurs to us, they're going to go to the clubhouse and all tell, I had a miracle shot on number 3. And now, of course, all these years later, it's so funny. You just imagine like there's the club pro, there's the guy in the pro shop, and he comes in, how's your round? You're not going to believe this. I had an eagle on number 3. from the bottom of the gully, I hit it up and in. And I'm sure there's like, oh, my God, that's amazing. Thanks. 20 minutes later, another guy comes in. I got an eagle on number 3. And then like 4 or 5 times that day, that story was told. So, of course, being stupid kids, we went right back to it the next day and got busted because there was a dude out looking for us.
Yeah, you know there would be. Yeah, we're gonna plant somebody out there. Yeah, you can only get away with that once. I'm sure the second one came in and they thought this is one of those stories we'll be telling for the rest of our lives. And the third one comes in and you're like, there's some freaking kids out there on that damn course.
Everybody in the clubhouse is totally hammered because of the free beers.
You're lucky because old men drinking on a golf course, catching you guys, it could have been life-threatening.
I'm sure. Yeah, they're sitting there at the clubhouse and they're like, number 3. What's that house that has all those kids by the third hole? What's their name? Find out. It's those little sons of bitches. I guarantee it. Yeah, they were out looking for us. That was a rough one. Speaking of rough news, by the way, we need to mention again, Martin Mull passed away over the weekend. 80 years old. Fernwood tonight, I think, is the first thing that comes to mind because it's the first time I really dialed in into his shtick. But so many things over the years. Basically, anything he was in, I dug it just because Martin Mull was one of those guys. He was just always funny.
Yeah.
Gene Parmesan on Arrested Development. I mean, that
master of disguise.
Oh, incredible! And every time, and what's her name, Lucille. It just never got old, man.
Great character. Never got old. And for me, it goes all the way back to I've talked about the movie FM, and I want to do that. He was Eric Swan, so he was the real sleazy DJ in the movie, and I bought all in. I was like, I want to be Eric Swan someday. But he'll forever be endeared to Minnesota for the DJ position he played on KQRS and Jingle All the Way for Martin Mull, for KQ, for, I don't know, every Minnesotan that's lived with this movie. Here you go.
You say you've been looking everywhere for a Turbo Man doll?
Yes.
You say you do just about anything to get your hands on one?
Yes.
Well, KQRS has good news for you. If you're the first caller to correctly identify all 8 of Santa's reindeer, you will be the winner of the hottest toy since Johnny 70MA. It's easy. Just call 555-KQRS.
Then we have to go through like 5 minutes of scene until they finally show up at the radio station, and he informs them that, no, you win a gift certificate. You don't think I have a turbo doll here, do you? But hilarity ensues, and of course KQRS, I think they said is on Wabasha, and they had it downtown. So none of that. And I think what pissed off a lot of people at KQ at the time is he had a ponytail. Like, we don't do ponytails at KQ. Well, this is no. You're thinking of a different radio station.
Oh, that's funny. By the way, real quick on the KQ Talking text line, several people have texted in to say that the 55 mile per hour federal national maximum speed law was really more about the oil embargo than safety.
Yeah.
So, no, it's an important clarification. I just, I'm just talking. I assume it's got one thing to do with something. It's more about the oil embargo. Now that does make sense in hindsight. So thank you for the correction.
Yeah.
I'll take a correction anytime.
I think it was all part of that, right? Yeah, so you had the long oil lines in the 70s, drop it to 55, and it was a safety issue, too. All that stuff. All I know is my grandpa went 50. It's 55. Nobody goes 55 in South Dakota. My grandpa went 50.
Wow.
Because that's where you get the best gas mileage in it. And I'm like, and I would be ducked down in the seat as people are flipping them off. And no, just straight and steady, 50 miles an hour.
No talking him off that hill for anything, I'm sure. It's like the movie Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
Opening scene when they're on their way to they're taking the main kid to college, and he's like they're on the highway and every car's going by honking and flipping them off, and I just remember the dad goes, I don't know what the problem is, I've got the cruise control set right here at 35. Wow. Oh, every now and again Revenge of the Nerds pops up in my brain. I can't control it. What can I say? It's time. As long as we're looking back. Steve says on this day in 1990, Yankees pitcher Andy Hawkins had one hell of a day at Comiskey. First things first, lost the game 4-0 to the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox scored all 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th on 2 walks and 3 errors. Andy Hawkins threw a no-hitter and lost the game 4-0.
That's funny because it happened to a Yankee.
Exactly. The Yankees were congratulating him on the no-no, but he said afterwards, I'm stunned. I really am. This is not even close to the way I envisioned that a no-hitter would be. You dream of it. You never imagine it's going to be a loss.
No, you don't.
Yeah, of all the millions of things that go through your mind as a pitcher, I'm going to throw a no-hitter and lose the game by 4. Yeah, that's not something that really probably occurred to anybody. Oh, well, screw you. You're a Yankee.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.